Interesting, because I remember Snoop Dogg said once, yeah, I produced this, but I would never allow my children to listen to it.
Yeah.
Talk about this. Are they acting? It's good enough for the public, but not good enough for their own family members?
I would say they are acting. Yeah. And what I would say as a whole is that hip hop has a negative, overwhelmingly negative impact on young people, especially young black people.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume. Pump that bass.
Thinking of a master plan. This ain't nothing but sweat.
The reason that it has an especially negative impact on young black males is that these hip hop artists are predominantly black. They're predominantly black males, and so these individuals, these young people, are most likely to personally identify with them. And so the fast life that these rappers talk about a lot of times becomes a fantasy for these young people. And then when it becomes a fantasy, it turns into a reality. And then the fast life in reality, when you really do live it, a lot of times often means a fast death, financially, economically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally.
Music impacts the youth all the time, especially now with the technology that's going crazy. You know, they got technology that you could basically live the same life as the rapper. Like the rapper put their whole life up, and a kid or somebody might want to be the same. Like they rich. They doing this, so I gotta do what he did. I remember he said when he was 19, he went and did this. So when I'm 19, I'm gonna do this. I might be rich like him. Then you got people who listen to like gangster music, and then, feel me, they go do what the person said in the song, so they can say they did the same thing. Feel me? So music can impact the youth. Music impact everybody. So not even just the youth, but more of the youth is more gullible.
My passion in music started when I was young, about like 6th grade. This is around the time when hip hop was in its infancy. It's beyond Africa Bambaataa, but and what was going on, I wasn't even a big hip hop fan because there wasn't enough music out there. But I do remember this. I remember ordering Time magazine, like a 3-year subscription, because all I wanted was the free Walkman that came along with the subscription. So I ordered this, my parents didn't know, I didn't have any money. The Time magazine starts coming. My mom was like, why are we getting Time magazine? I'm just like, I don't know. And then eventually I had to fess up, and I was like, well, they didn't send me my free Walkman. They were like, well, you gotta pay the bill. So they paid the bill, I got the free Walkman, and from there, that's where I truly discovered at the time the only 2 hip hop mix shows that existed in the whole entire world, which were Kiss FM with DJ Red Alert and DJ Chuck Chillout, and WBLS 107.5, which was the Mr. Magic Show. And even though my parents made me go to bed super early, Friday and Saturday night, ever since I got that Walkman, I listened every Friday and Saturday night, and I became hooked. And I remember from that period, LL Cool J, I Can't Live Without My Radio being one of the songs they played, and I love that song, and that really just hooked me into hip hop in general.
Cool J, I devastated the show, but I couldn't survive without my radio. Terrorizing my neighbors with the heavy bass, I keep the suckers in fear.
So, I mean, we already know that music can be influential just from the actual music, but in this day and age, it's not just music. Music is always coupled with a visual of some sort, and that visual and the rawness and directness of hip hop leads to a lot of impact on society. When it started out, it was called the CNN of the streets, or they call rappers, ghetto reporters, because what was going on in the streets you would find echoed in hip hop.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
Well, hip hop is unique in several different ways, right? It's one of the very few original art forms that come out of the United States that actually comes out of the black community. And it's, of all the genres, it's the most fickle, meaning that it's definitely a young man's game.
I wanna see you buzz down, pick it up.
I get that drip, you get drip.
Yo, what's going on? My name is Success. I am the VP of A&R for Atlantic Records. Based here in New York. I've been with Atlantic like 8 years. I started off as a consultant, and from consultant I worked my way up to director of A&R, and from director I became vice president.
Kings killing kings, we the KKK. Load up, spin a corner, let that AK spray. Young niggas dying in my hood every day. Lockers in them chains, they say we the new slaves. But this ain't it.
If you listening to Spotify, then you have a huge role, because if I'm looking at Spotify and I'm like, he's 100,000 streams this week, those 100,000 streams represent you. So you know, it's not about the old heads, because the old heads typically, you know, they still matter, but understand the youth is always sort of letting us know what's hot and what's current. The kids, the young, the millennials, as they say. So like, young people play a big role. You know what I'm saying? I got a 16, 17-year-old daughter. I tap into her to see what she's listening to, because that's going to let me know what 17-year-olds, because that's who's streaming the music. And streams equals revenue for us. So, you know, that's who's letting us know what's hot, what's current, what's coming. It depends, you know, it makes a big difference. Urban music is definitely influential, but I also feel like certain situations can't be blamed on urban music. You know what I'm saying? If Jimmy Go shoots up a school while he was listening to Lil Pump, you know what I'm saying? That sounds like something he had at home. It's a home issue, because if you go watch Terminator, you're not gonna go shoot up. They're not gonna say it was because he watched Terminator that he shot up a school. So I feel like we have a responsibility, but I think that responsibility starts at home. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on NWA and all these Tupac, all these people that was very controversial. But I knew, because of my home training and my upbringing, what was right and what was wrong and what was stupid. So does hip-hop have an influence? Absolutely, but I think right from wrong starts at home. You know, you can't blame what you do on the music.
My favorite artist is probably Young Thug right now and Future. How they influence me? They influence me through the culture, fashion, how I just move in life. Like, there's a big influence. They influence me by just how the way I dress. Fashion is a big statement to them. So basically, I would say probably how I talk and how I just move around with my friends. Just through lyrics, I hear how militant their friends are and everything. I make sure my people around me are very basically thorough and basically real.
Kanye was probably the most influential artist in the last 10 to 12 years, because even though he's crazy, or we call him whatever we want, everybody still got a pair of Yeezys. He still influenced hella fashion clothes, even if he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I can't name another rapper that everybody emulated. Now, there's people who get to beg to differ, but I feel like I don't know artists. 50 Cent had did the G-Unit sneakers at one point. Jay-Z had the S-Dots, but people wasn't wearing those the way that Kanye had people wearing Yeezys as Nike, and then switched over to Adidas and had everybody go to Adidas. And cats was wearing Adidas again. And then, when he was doing the Louis Vuitton backpacks, people was laughing at him at first. And then not everybody got a designer handbag or backpack. And when he had people putting on blazers and jackets, cats was like, I don't be dressing up. Then you look up, everybody got on blazers. So I can't name another artist that's been influential like that.
My favorite artists are Meek Mill and G Herbo, and they influenced me like through their story, just growing up in the urban area and like still being able to be successful.
The criminal justice system has a set of rights created to protect you. But do you think it's really protecting us? You had a right to remain silent, but that really means you had a right to be silenced, doubted, interrogated, suspected. The color of your skin can and will be used against you in the court of law.
I used to play sports, and music was always my go-to. I would always cut on a tune and zone out, drown out, because music was always my focus. Like, I don't think about much when I think about music. When I listen to music, there's no other problem around me. It's me, the music, and the words. And I enjoy that because whether it was a really bad day or a really bad practice or just overall something really bad, the idea of music and me is just like a one. Like, it ties me into it. Like, I can get my phone right now and you'll see like I have different musics, different genres, but listening to rap music is not usually my thing, but rap is a positive because you don't think rap could have these kind of messages in it, but then when you sit back and listen to it, you really figure out that people everywhere are going through what you're going through, and some people are sharing it through music.